Okay guys, I am having a dream, and it's a cotton candy dream.
For sure.
Melissa DeLaCruz is gonna make my dream come true.
For sure, it's gonna be amazing. You're gonna love them.
Awesome. So I'm super excited because spring, cotton candy, I can feel my mouth watering. Let's get to this video.
So today I'm going to be using SlickPour, and I am going to do spring inspired nails. I'm going to be using some really cool colors that are hot for the season for spring. So let's get started. As you can see here, I built all my nails out. What I built them out in is basically really thin. I built out clear speed on the free edge and Rosebud back here to kind of camouflage the natural nail. So the colors I'm using are Free Fall, Ice Clink, Clever, Lumiere Blitz, Sugar Blitz, and Palm Reader, my favorite. So let's get started. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm pretty much just gonna lay the colors down and let them blend in with each other. So I'm gonna use them a little more wet, kind of give like a little, not really a marble, but they kind of will marble in with each other, kind of bleed in with each other. It looks really cool. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm gonna use, let's use a little bit of blue and see how it's kind of wet. Let's go into the next color. See how they're kind of bleeding in with each other? Oh, that looks really cool. See, I'm just gonna let them kind of mix up. Add some Palm Reader in here. I kind of want a little bit of pink right here too. And a little Palm Reader in this one. There we go. I like the way that looks. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of tighten it up a little. Wet this a little more so it blends in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna carry this design on. All of them a little different. As you can see, I'm babysitting it a little. The reason why is when you use it a little wetter, it's going to flow. So I think it's just about done moving on me. Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's do like pink and blue. Let's do this one. Ooh, I love the way this one's coming out. Let's use it a little wetter here. Let's go into pink again right here. Some of it might flow off and not a big deal at all. Let's add a little Palm Reader here, a little Palm Reader here. There we go. I got a little on her skin. Make sure you get it off if you do right away, just so they don't get allergic reaction or anything. I think I want a little sparkle here and a little bit more Palm Reader. So what I'm using Palm Reader for is just to highlight my color, and it looks really cool all mixed up. I feel like I want to add a little bit more color right here. Oh yeah, that looks really good. And then I'll add a little bit of green in it and a little bit of Lumiere. Okay, so what I did is I removed all my colors, and I'm getting my Speed Clear, and I'm going to encapsulate them with Speed Clear. Because I built out all my extensions at once, you could go ahead and do your design all at once and come back and cap them all, encase it all from there. Then that way it gives this a little time to set. See how this is tightening up now, and I could kind of bring it back in and it's not as wide. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build my structure and clear from cuticle to free edge. So again, I'm gonna anchor her finger down. I'm gonna pick up a pearl, bouncing it. Okay, once I have a good pearl here, I'm gonna set it right at my cuticle area. Let it flow down. Okay, once it's flown where I wanted it, I'll blend it in. Now notice how I'm not blending it in all the way from the back. I'm just blending it in from the beginning. The reason why is I want to keep all this volume here for my structure. I could tighten it up right here a little. Okay, so from here what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get another pearl of clear, or a bead of it, and I'm gonna use it kind of wet and come backwards with it. I'm gonna wipe my brush because I don't need as much liquid in it now. And I'm going to form it and move it where I want it to go. Pretty much with zone 2 and 3, as you could see with my brush. Let me blend this in a little. It's kind of wet, so you kind of need to not be really rough with it, or heavy-handed, I should say. Okay, as you can see, it's all starting to blend in. Now this is literally my first acrylic of the day. I did build the extensions, but extension's very easy. You draw out most of the monomer. Okay, so let me look at it sideways. Looks pretty good, but I could see a little bit right here. So what I'm gonna do is just take a little more clear, melt it in. Wipe my brush. I'm not gonna tack it right away. I'm gonna let it kind of melt in, then blend it all in. Okay, on to my next one. Repeat the process. I like to keep the finger down, place it around the cuticle area, walk it all the way around the cuticle area, hold it down so it'll flow for you, then bring it up and blend it in. So you could tell this is my second one of the day. By the third one, I'll be jamming. That's reality in salon, getting used to the temperature in the room. So what I'm gonna do now is do this backwards, kind of melt it in, bring it down right here. I'm gonna wipe my brush off. Now if you notice, I use my sides of my brush. Let me show you a trick real quick because it's pretty wet. If you use the belly of the brush and you push in, see what it does, how it kind of looks like it indents it? The belly of the brush is used to maneuver your product. The side where it's pinched of your brush is designed to tighten the sides of your nails. See that? Makes a huge difference. It's a really good tip. So if you notice when you see us working, when we place down, it's flat. See how our brushes are pinched? When we place it down, it's flat and we're maneuvering everything. When we go to the side, we keep our brush straight and just come in at it like this. Okay? All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna finish the other two and come back with the finished results. So I completed the set. Now I'm going to electric file them. Get my dust extractor. I like to use my dust extractor not straight. I like it sideways, and I'll explain why. I like to be comfortable when I'm filing, and I rest my arm right here on the side. When it's straight, it kind of hangs off and it's a little more uncomfortable for my wrist. So you'll see when I electric file, I tend to use it sideways. I'm going to use an X-cut. You could use a safety bit if you'd like. Let me show you the difference. They're both the same cut. The only difference is this has an edge and this doesn't. They both have the same grid. The reason why I'm going to use an X-cut is I like to come up on my sides and take care of my sidewalls with my X-cut. So let's get started. I'm going to use my electric file on 12,000 RPMs. Maybe 13, but I'll let you know. How do I determine between 12 and 13? Just the right of my drill bit pretty much, okay? So I'm going to start on 12 and see how that's working. So what I'm going to do is come in on my sides and bring my sides in first. I could put it to 13. Okay, I find I use 13 on acrylic and 12 on gel. The reason being is gel's a softer product, so it files a lot easier. Acrylic's a little harder, so I bump it up one more notch. So what I'm gonna do is kind of bring in the width of the nail first. So I'm kind of looking at it straight. Okay, once I have it pretty nice on top where it looks pretty petite, I'm going to come to the side and I'm going to take off all this hanging. See how it's much straighter now? A lot of times you would handle that with your hand file. See how straight it pretty much is? So I was able to get it with my electric file. This is a speed technique. It's something you could practice on to get faster. If you electric file all with your X-Cut, you'll get finished with all 10 fingernails at least 5 to 10 minutes faster than normal. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is come to the other side, bring it in, get it as close as I think that is accurate. Okay, so now all I have to focus on is looking at the side of the fingernail and blending everything in. The first thing I'm going to do is go around my cuticle area and blend all my cuticle area in using zone 1 of my drill bit. Now if we break this up in zones, this is zone 1, this is zone 2, and this is zone 3. Same with your finger. Zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. There's also zone 1, 2, and 3 when looking down the barrel. So what I do is I connect my zones with my drill bit. So I'm going to electric file to zone 2. See, I'm at zone 2. I'm going to stop here, go to 3, and work my way up to 2. So as you can see, your arch is starting to come in. Okay? The reason why I didn't spend a lot of time at 2 is that's really my apex where I need my highest point. So I usually bring them up to meet each other. Let me clean this up on the free edge real quick to see how much more I need to. Well, it's still really thick, so what I'm going to do is repeat my process. Bring a little bulk down, go to 2. Then I like to go from 3 up to 2 again. Could you carry on all the way from 1 to 2? You could. Whatever is more comfortable for you, but always look on the side to see that you have your arch going on. Once it looks nice to you, you're going to look down the barrel of the nail. So I could see the side's a little low. You could go ahead and touch it up if you want. Then I'm going to come in with my sides and blend all my sides in. So what I'm doing as I pull through with my carbide bit is just making contact and pulling it all the way through. Okay. So when I look at it like this, I could physically see I need to bring it in a little more. See how it's kind of leaning to this side? Nobody says you can't go back to where you already came from. You go through all your zones, then if it looks a little bulky still, then go back and tighten it back up. So I'll come right here, tighten it up just a tad bit, then blend everything in. So as you tighten it up, you'll see your shape come into really nice form. Okay, as you look at it from the side, I could do a little bit more at zone 3 up. Let's make sure here. Okay, that looks nice. Now I'm going to go on to the next nail. As you can see the comparison, they always get bulkier when you build. Your extension you built out was pretty tight like this. What happens when you add, it gets a little bulky. So all I'm doing is taking it back to its original shape. So I'm going to get my sides. And this one I'll explain as I go, okay? So I'm going to kind of clean up my free edge, square it off, bring up my sides. So this just gives me a visual of how I want the nail to shape, the width I want it, and I'm always comparing it to my neighbor nail. Okay, once it looks pretty good to me here, I like to go around the cuticle area to blend everything in. Then I look down the side of the nail. Okay? So what I'm going to do is blend in from zone 1, all the way to zone 2. Go back down on zone 1 because it's a little thick there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is go into zone 3 of the nail and my carbide bit and meet in the middle. So what am I doing right now? Am I looking at my drill bit? I am not looking at my carbide bit at all. I'm looking at the fingernail. So it's kind of like when you drive a car. You don't look straight down at the road. You look ahead of you, right? So when I'm looking at the fingernail, my hand is naturally going where it needs to go, where it looks thicker or I need to blend in more. So once you get the hang of electric filing, you are staring at the fingernail the whole time and your hand just naturally goes where it needs to go. It's just like driving. Okay, so now I'm gonna look at this as a whole. I need to taper it in a little more to match the neighbor. So I'm gonna come in right here. Come in right here. They look a lot alike, so that requires me bringing in the side here, the side here. Bring it in a little bit right here. And we're on to the next. Okay, so I'm going to hand file them now to blend everything in. Some people like to hand file on top of the dust extractor. It's completely up to you. I like to hand file off of it because that's not much you're filing, so it's not going to fly everywhere. Okay, so what I'm going to do is come in, tighten up my sides even more. Now this is all fine tuning. There's a little bit of a hang right here. Very little, you see it right here? I got it pretty close with my electric file. So what I'm gonna do is file on the lowest part and bring it up even with my sidewall right here. Okay, I'm gonna repeat that on the other side. File till it's even with my sidewall. Then blend everything in. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at the tip of my nail right now, making sure it's all the same width and thickness. Okay, I'm going to do client profile. So client profile, you're basically looking at all of them like this, and some of them favor a side. Like, I'm more heavy-handed on this side, but not too much. I need to bring the other side to match, okay? So I'll come right here. I usually put pressure on my client's finger. This is not uncomfortable for your client at all. All this is doing is perfecting the shape, so when your client looks at them, they're all uniform and none of them are crooked. From here, what I'm going to do is dust this all off. And on a person, it dusts off a lot easier, but I'm going to kind of dust Sally everywhere. Once you dust her off, get rid of the part that has all the dust that you were filing on and go into swipe. What swipe's going to do is change your pH balance in the fingernails and on all the artificial enhancement. So it's going to prepare you for your gel polish or your finishing gel, whatever you're gonna decide to use. In this case, I'll use some sort of gel top coat. I'm gonna do it kind of underneath too. On the training hand, it gets stuck. On a person, you don't have to wipe that much. So once you have them all filed, you notice I didn't buff. I did not use a buffer. I went from a 150 grit file. So once you're done with the 150 grit, this is really gonna hold on to your gel polish. So I'm from there going to add 1 coat of protein bond to all 10 nails. Just a thin little coat. What this is doing is ensuring that my top coat's really gonna stay on, and it also, the clarity, I feel like it eliminates any scratches or anything that would cause like a little spot that's kind of cloudy. So from there, what I'm going to do is go into stain resistant, and I like to work from my right to left. So I'm gonna start on her pinky. This is when your design's revealed. It's super pretty. I actually would like this on myself. Putting a top coat on all of them, making sure you're getting all your sides, looking at your corners. Okay, once you have your top coat on, you're gonna put them under the light for 1 full minute, cures it all the way. I like to put 2 minutes. That gives me time to clean up and ensure they're gonna be cured to a really high shine. Okay, so from here, they have their sticky residue on them, so I'm going to wipe it off with swipe. Swipe will remove all your dispersion sticky layer off of your stain resistant top coat. And there you go, your full set of Cotton Candy Dream. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.
Okay, Melissa, how much?
$165. So let me break it down for you. Okay, if my set's $125, I used 6 different colors of SlickPour. That's $30. And then I charge for design.
Okay, so you charge 10 extra for the design on top of
for
it.
just the technique of the design, because I had to learn that. I had to get educated how to use that, right? So I've been doing nails so long, I start charging for creativity. So that's
Another
just how
way
I
to
give myself
give
a raise.
raise.
Yeah.
Now, what I want to talk about just really briefly is, okay, your sets start at $125. And
Yes.
a lot of people will say, I can't charge that.
Yes.
What is the most important thing that you're trying to teach people?
Absolutely. Charging for your extras you're putting in. You have a base set price. It may come with a gel color, it may come with one color. That's great. But everything you're using after that, you pay to have in stock, and you have this wonderful selection for them to choose from. That is how you get your raise. That is how you're able to make it in life, really, because it gets to a point where you don't charge for it, but you're paying to have it in stock.
Nail techs have more product than makeup artists, hairdressers. We have a lot of product.
We
people.
do.
You got to charge for it.
Yes.
I love them. They're beautiful. Well worth it. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
Young Nails is committed to giving you the best nail education in the world. Check out more of our videos. Head right over here. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and do that by clicking right over here.